Does this seem relatable? You're so excited to get going and create something, but as soon as your pen hits the paper, you're like, wait a minute, I don't even know what to draw. Now don't worry, because I will solve this problem today. This video is sponsored by Karin Markers, so I'm going to use them for my art pieces today. Click the link in the description box below to check them out. For the first one, I picked a certain color scheme and I decided to do a Radish, and I added in even more colors to the color scheme. At first, I just wanted to do the colors of the Radish, but then I decided it needs a warm background, and this is gonna be more of a 3D piece. You will see what I mean in a minute. And you can see right now I'm creating the background, and this was kind of the ugly stage. I didn't know yet whether this would turn out the way I wanted to or not. It was a bit of an experiment, and I hadn't used the Karin markers on this specific paper before. And of course, with these types of pens, all kinds of water soluble things, you really have to make sure that your paper works with the medium. And it kind of worked really well when I started to do this texture. You can see here, this dried very beautifully, and in the end I was very happy with it. This is some kind of wooden texture. I cleaned up the edges a little bit with a white acrylic pen. You could also just use tape, but this paper unfortunately doesn't handle tape very well. Now on a separate piece of paper, I'm starting to sketch out my Radish, but only the pink part for now. Again, I'm putting some water on my paper and then dipping my pens into the water. And I've done this a few times before now, and at first I was hesitant because I was scared that it would ruin the pens, but it doesn't do anything as far as I've seen. Of course, after a while, the pen kind of stops flowing, the ink stops flowing out, but then you wait a few minutes and it's completely back to normal. So as far as I've seen, it does not ruin your pens at all. And we're on a separate paper again, and I'm doing the same thing now with green tones. This was just so much fun, just dropping the colors on there like that. If you have a lot of water, this will spread very easily and give you some fun effects. As you can see here with the Radish, I cut everything out and then I put it onto my background, and I also added some few little details that you can see right there with the same technique. I painted a few colors and then later on cut that out for some highlights and stuff like that to just give everything a little bit more depth. And I was really playing around with this for the first time. I was kind of inspired to create some cutout art. I've seen this on Instagram a bunch of times now, and of course I'm not a pro at this because I did this the first time, but I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, even though it's more on the simpler side. The only thing that's a little bit annoying is that you can kind of see the whites of the paper through. I don't know if it adds some charm or if it's more annoying, but this is how it looked like once I glued it on there. I had so much fun creating this. For the next one, I'm actually using the colors from the monthly Karin Marker challenge. These are the colors for October. I just had to use a different green tone because my set didn't have the exact same green tone. Their colors are for the deco brushes, I think, and I use mostly these water soluble pens. I much prefer those for painting. I feel like the deco brushes are better for other surfaces than paper and better for calligraphy and stuff like that. But for the type of art that I create, I really like the water soluble ones because they're really juicy and I love blending them. And so I used the same colors but with these kinds of markers, and I had so much fun. I tried to include the purple tones a little bit more and not just orange tones, but it kind of blended everything together in a way. I'm really happy with how it turned out though. I had the cat in purple first. You can see it here. I'm coloring it in purple, but it just didn't look right, honestly. I kind of needed it to be darker, and so I later on decided to cover up the purple and make it black. I don't know, some people probably prefer the purple, but I feel like it looks more right with the black. It was just not the vibe that I was going for. But yeah, like I said, I'm pretty happy with this. This could easily be a sticker. If I still had my online shop, I might have created a sticker out of this. This would have been so cute. But currently I don't do any physical products. Maybe I'll do it with a third-party shop where they print everything and ship everything for me at one point. I don't know. I've had so many issues with shipping when I had my online shop. So right now I'm only doing courses and stuff like that. And now on the left side, I'm actually using the same colors and black. My black has now, after over a year of using this so much all the time, it's starting to run out a little bit. You can see it's starting to be streaky. So I just blended that with some water with my gigantic brush, and it looked just fine afterwards. I was so impressed with how it looked after it dried. So really happy with the background. And again, with the cutout doodle technique, I was going all in here, just scribbling and playing around. I feel like I really needed this. I really needed to just take some time to not think too much and just create something for fun. No pressure of it being super high end or whatever. I've been focusing a lot on tutorials and courses and stuff like that lately, and while I love that, sometimes I just need to take a break from that and just explore some fun and happy things, and I feel like I did that here. And I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. I did sketch some leaves and a pot on here, and I used the same colors as I've already said, but mixed them together a lot. So this is a little bit more on the muted side when it comes to the colors, but I really like how it looked in the end, especially contrasting that dark background. I feel like if it were brighter, it might have been too much, and it really fits with the colors on the right side. So you can see I'm gluing all of that stuff on there and creating this plant, and I have to make more of this cutout style stuff. It's really fun. It's of course a lot of work, and I can't do too much of it because I get pain in my hands from all of the cutting out. It doesn't matter if I use scissors or a knife. It's just a lot, but every now and then these projects are so fun. So here's the finished page spread. On the next page, or in another sketchbook rather, I am now sketching some flowers. Every now and then I just have to paint flowers. No plan, no reference picture, just doodling some flowers. And for this I also picked a color scheme, and I went for all of the very bright pastel colors that I could find, like pinkish, yellowish, and green tones. And they're more on the bright side, like they're very faded, and I really love that. I love pastel colors so much, so I made sure that I wouldn't use too much of the darker tones that I have here. And it's just I added an outline, so this is the kind of contrast that it needs. If you just work with pastel colors, you're gonna need something that adds some kind of contrast. So in this case, that's the outline. In the past, I've also sometimes added in a black background to contrast things like that, which makes it look really fun and more dynamic. In this case, I just made sure that the markers that I picked were pretty bright, and then kind of the only darker contrast are the lines. I hope that makes sense. It was just the style that I was going for and was feeling like at that moment, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. It's not the most original thing that I've ever created, of course. I have painted so many flowers in so many different ways over the years, but it's just something that's always fun, easy, quick, and I could do it over and over again. So don't be scared to draw the same things over and over again. If it's fun to you, then do that. You don't have to be good at absolutely everything. You don't have to force yourself to do every kind of drawing, or you don't have to do sophisticated and intricate hard things. If you want to doodle something that you've doodled a million times before, do it. Just have fun with it and enjoy it. This is how this turned out. And on the left side, I'm now drawing a peacock as per request on my Instagram stories. I sometimes ask my followers what I should draw, and someone suggested a peacock, and I thought this is a good idea. I have painted a peacock once before, but it's been years, and I thought this could be really fun with the markers and the blending and the colors, and I got really excited. So this was the suggestion that I used here and that I created something with. I also had super good other suggestions. I always get really fun suggestions from my followers, but sometimes I just can't do everything. I mean, always I can't do everything, but this one, like, it was really, really fun. So if you want to sometimes tell me what to draw, then follow my Instagram account, because sometimes I will put this in my stories with suggestions. And if you have any art questions ever, you can also reach out to me and ask me. And if you are looking for specific ideas because you're out of ideas or in a rut or something like that, I have a prompt list, actually, a free prompt list that I will link for you, so you can check it out. And whenever you don't know what you want to paint, then you can look at that list, maybe randomize a number to get something at random, or pick one of the prompts, and you can get started and create something. And if you ever create something from the list, then tag me so I can see it and see what you come up. The link for my free prompt list will be in the description box, so you can see the peacock coming together. I'm also adding some line art here. I find that it just adds a little something, and I don't know if I overdid it with the line art on this one or if it's just the right amount. I'm overall pretty happy with how it turned out, but I'm not sure if the line art that I added in at the very end was the right move or not. I might have to revisit this painting later on in a few weeks and decide that, because sometimes you just need to take a step back and then look at it again and with fresh eyes, and you might have a different opinion. You can see it here now. I'm kind of doodling around the feathers, and in a way it makes it look very fluffy, and I kind of like it. I don't know. It was something that I've tried out, and maybe I'll do it again. We will see. I also added in just a little bit of white gouache, and I just wanted to make sure that you know where the neck ends and where the feathers in the background start. And yeah, I'm just adding in more and more line art here and finishing up our peacock. I'm so happy with the color scheme here. Of course, it's my favorite colors. I really love green, blue, teal, those kinds of colors. So of course, I'm going to love this color scheme. If you want to give Karin Markers a try, then click on the link in the description box. For even more creative ideas, check out this video next, where I will show you how to fill a sketchbook quickly and give you a lot of ideas and prompts for your sketchbook.